Welcome to Ancient and Justified. MTV Party Zone Revisited.
With me, James Hyman.
And with me, Simone Angel.
Always a pleasure. Look at that lovely smile in the jungle. It's so good. Cheers me up. The stresses of London.
James.
Hello, Simone.
Yes.
How you doing?
There's not much stress here.
Stress is what you make of it, right? You choose your stress.
Here, I mean, listen to the birds.
I know. Do they ever stress
Here,
you out, though?
It's peaceful.
Yeah. What stresses you out in Belize?
No, I mean, snakes. You don't want to step on a snake at night or a scorpion.
Oof.
You know, those kind of things aren't great. But it's really not. There's not much here that's stressful, really.
Now, I mean, stress. Our next guest has probably had a lot of stress in his life, I think. Just organising what is arguably what went from nearly a few digit numbers to millions of people attending this annual event, the Love Parade. Dr. Motte. I checked up. I mean, we went.
I know Dr.
Yeah.
Motte.
I mean, imagine the stress. Well, he'll have had a lot of stress. You want to ask him about what he's been through. You know, the event, the Love Parade, what started in 89. When was the first? Because we went with MTV. If I remember correctly, we went in 94 and 96. There's some very funny stuff of you on YouTube. You really like, oi, oi. And there's that woman like, yes, Simone, yes, Simone. And you bumping into Lauren Garnier. We were really, your anecdotes with Steve Blame at the Love Parade. So we went in 94 and 96 and did a couple of party zones from there and MTV dances, I think. But did you go before 94?
So I don't know which year it was that I went with Steve Blame, but the clip that you're talking about where I'm going to this woman, you know, what does the Love Parade mean to you? Love,
Yeah.
dance, right? That clip. That is that and Lauren Garnier are the only two clips of that first Love Parade. Because within minutes of the Love Parade starting, Steve Blame and I jumped on a float and just left our crew. So our crew couldn't find us for like the whole day. So all the interviews that we had planned never happened. Like everything just got messed up. And by the time our crew found us back, the Love Parade was over and Steve and I were dancing in a fountain with all the other ravers with like water guns shooting at everyone. But yeah, we just didn't film anything. It was pandemonium.
But
it was fun.
You don't remember the year? You don't remember the year?
I don't think MTV. I have no idea. I do know. So MTV had been promoting that they were going to have this big Love Parade thing. So this had been going out for weeks on end. And then we actually managed to come back with no material at all. So we actually could not make shows out of it. It was quite bad. It was the one time when I thought I was going to get fired by MTV. And I walked into our boss's office and he was just sitting there looking at his paperwork and he just wouldn't look at me. And I knew I'd done wrong because not only had I come back without anything filmed, I also had missed my flight. I lost Steve. I lost all my money. I lost my credit cards. They had to get a new night for me in the hotel. I mean, the whole thing was a disaster. And so my boss just looked at his paperwork. And then after a while, I could just see the corners of his mouth go up and he started laughing. And he went, Simone, don't ever do that again. Now get out my office. And that was it. And I didn't get fired, even though MTV was left trailering something for weeks and then didn't come up with the goods because I hadn't delivered.
You may have annoyed some sponsors, which is an interesting angle, the sponsorship thing, obviously, with Love Parade, because it went from a kind of hippie, free-spirited kind of dream, right? To a big, big business. It became a business. I think Motte had a lot of highs and lows selling the business. He said when he sold it, I think there was regret. He felt like it was his kid and his kid's being abused. So really want to hear all the highs and lows of that whole brand.
Well, it started out as a protest,
Hmm.
right? So it started out not as a dance event. So
Peace, love, and
it was billed as
pancakes.
a protest. There was right Friede, Freude und Friede, Freude und I forgot the name for pancakes in German. Eierkuchen, das war's. So yeah, and then after a while, because the reason why they did that was that they wouldn't have to pay for the cleanup, they wouldn't have to pay for security. All that was done by the local government. But then after a while, they said, look, this is really not a political protest, because they said, oh, we're not protesting against anything. We're basically, it's a march for. It's for all these things. We want peace. We want love. We want a fair distribution of food. But they said, no, it's not a real protest. And so you're not going to get our support anymore. And so that's when the sponsors had to come in. And that's when he said, when Dr. Motte said it turned into an infomercial. And that's when he pulled out, because that was not the idea behind the Love Parade.
No, I mean, I remember...
Yeah.
Again, I'd have to look up the dates, but I think I may have even gone to one. Yeah, I think I went on some Horst from K7. Remember, he was very obviously Berlin based. I'm sure I went on a really early one where it was, so raw, that image of a guy like hanging off a lamppost so high up on one of those streets, and incredible what it went from to what it became. Obviously, there was one year, I mean, I hate mentioning it, there was a tragedy, just too many people. One year, I think some people got crushed.
And at this point, Dr. Motte was not part of it anymore.
Yeah.
It was not in Berlin. I mean, it really,
You're right.
It really had nothing to do with him, but it still carried the name. So that is incredibly heartbreaking, of course, for something that had started with such good intentions and was all about love, and then it ended in tragedy. I mean, that must have been so hard for him to
fathom, sure,
to witness. Yeah.
I want to hear about Rave the Planet, the new stuff he's up to, and that's it really. There's so many, I guess a bit like Claire and Mike, the Manumission. There was that is so pivotal and monumental in rave culture, Manumission and Love Parade, two incredible iconic clubbing events that perpetuated, and as I say, there's danger surrounding them. And fun, of course, a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really put a stamp on our whole generation and the experience of people growing up. And of course, with the Love Parade, I mean, there was the whole thing of the Berlin Wall coming down and East and West joining. And I mean, this is why it became so massive. The timing of it was almost like a shift, a
seismic shift.
Right. And it came right at that moment. And incredible to have been there, to have been part of it. And I'm very excited to now talk to Dr. Motte about it. And like you said, about the new plans, what's happening with Rave the Planet. And the other thing, they want to get a UNESCO heritage something for Berlin Techno. They want that to become part of UNESCO's heritage.
Or like a site or somewhere.
I don't know, status?
Yeah, sure.
So that'll be interesting to find out.
Well, I look forward as ever to listening.
It's going to be interesting. All right.
Nice.
Thanks, James.
Okay.
Oh, also Matthias, Dr. Motte. Herzlich willkommen. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yes. Well, I guess we'll stick to English, right?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So
if I can't, I use my translation app, and
I will be your translation app.
Okay, thank you.
So if there's something that is just better expressed in German, then just throw it out there.
Okay.
So, Dr. Motte, of course, most famous from the Love Parade, the man who got it all started.
Yeah, it's like that I had the initial idea, so inspired by friends coming back from England, visiting and joining illegal parties in the 80s, telling, "Oh, you know, we went there and the police came and they busted the whole party and took the sound system away. And then we were standing in front of the location and someone switched on the ghetto blaster and we had a spontaneous street party. And I was singing over and over and over. And the best singing over is by me by thinking over by sleeping.
Okay.
Because I have no information from outside. I have a basic question, a massive question I cannot answer and find a solution. But if I sleep and I wake up, sometimes I have a solution, I have an idea. And that was like also in, I would say May 1989, I had the idea in front of the location in Berlin where we had an acid party in 1989, and we were celebrating. And so, and in the morning, I have had the idea of why not declare a demonstration and use our float, some little vans and the sound system and do a street party. And everyone was like, yeah, do that. And because of you have to declare a demonstration in Berlin to the officials and the authorities, you have to find something, what you do. And I was like thinking, okay, let's do something for peace, for love, for a better future, and not against war, not against blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So it's a positive demonstration, dance-wise, with music. So we invented a demonstration. And 6 weeks later, we had the parade going on, a little team with together with my girlfriend at that time, Daniele Picciotto. She was really like, yeah, do that. It's really good, pushing me. And yeah, 6 weeks later, we had 1st of July, the first love parade going on.
Wow.
For peace, love, unity, respect. So it was like Friede, Freude, Eierkuchen. Yeah.
Yeah, genau.
Yeah.
So that's love, peace, and
peace,
pancakes.
happiness, and pancake. Yeah, and
Right.
we said, okay, peace is for ban all weapons on this planet. Happiness is music, is our way of communicating. Yeah, dance-wise and stuff like that. And pancake is give food to all. Yeah, and there was also a big vision because we said we want to do that from now on every year, this year and forever, also on the first poster. And because the vision I've had, why not start that every year again so it comes back? And in the future, we will have a lot of, or in any country, we will have love parades. And in the future, there will also a day will come where everyone is dancing on that parade.
Oh,
And
please
so they
let it
will
be
come.
so one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. And one day will come where people will recognize we are all part of the same family, and that will
Yeah.
bring world peace.
The man who started it all, the Don, the God, is Dr. Motte. Now, he kind of started this whole thing to celebrate his birthday. Can you imagine? I mean, what a birthday! What a birthday party to have!
Now, next to me is Dr. Motte. This man is the originator of the Love Parade. He was there since day one, and he was the one who invented it. Now, how do you feel being the godfather of an event that just escalates from year to year and grows and grows and grows?
I feel really great when everyone is feeling great.
Oh, yes.
This is a big vision behind it.
That was the thought behind the Love Parade. So that was
That's a big vision.
1989. So let's go back. Let's go back a bit further. Let's go back to a life before techno. Tell me about your life before techno.
Well, I'm a born Berliner. I grew up in West Berlin. I was a very lazy guy at school. Very lazy. Never did some homework or something like that. I was very bad. But
Right.
at art lessons, I was the best. So therefore, I did a lot of work at home. So painting and making music, that was my thing. I was also good in chemicals and bio. I was also like everything has to do with bio, nature
Everything
and
that's
stuff
to
like
do.
that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Natural thing. But I wasn't very good in writing and reading and mathematics. And all that. Yeah, and I was a very colorful dog in Spandau where I grew up. Yeah, everyone knew me. Then we formed a band in the late 70s. My mother was giving or bought me a drum set because I'm very drumming very much. And then later on, I had a percussion, a lot of percussion. I spent a lot, every money. I was very much into jazz from the age of 14 because my brother gave
Right.
me a little tape deck with jazz on it, electric jazz, and I was totally into it. I went to every jazz concert in Berlin, West Berlin, the jazz days and stuff like that. And then later on in 79, I discovered music presented by John Peel. Because we had
Okay.
the British Forces Broadcaster System, BFBS.
Right.
And he was, we could listen. Suddenly I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And he played electronic music from Germany to me. He played
How
Malaria.
funny.
He played
Yeah.
all the German bands from like underground, but not new way, Neue Deutsche Welle, no. And he was like really inspiring me, and that's why I became a punk in 1979 and listening to a completely new music.
So
I
you were
switched-
listening to German music through British radio, bringing it back to you. How funny.
Because German radio music is boring.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, radio
Okay.
music in Germany is boring because it's mainly
Middle of the road.
It's the middle of the road, yeah.
Right. Okay. So
Boring.
tell me the first time you discovered techno. First time you discovered actually probably acid house, I should say at that point,
acid house.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
because there was like you say the music after punk music, yeah, like white noise and stuff like that. It's also like Cabaret Voltaire, and there was some bands in Berlin as well, like Alu, and they played early 80s, like 81 or stuff like that. They played already electronic music. They used synthesizers and drum machines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
Cabaret Voltaire, yeah. And also we have had other music like Yellow and The Residents and stuff like that. Yeah?
But
So
do you remember
it was there before.
But do you remember the first time you walked into a rave, like an acid house party? You know, more than just the music. When did you first experience that?
I did it by myself.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was together with Danielle, the Picciotto, and we were always like looking at magazine we could buy in West Berlin, what's going on in the world, like Face magazine and ID magazine and fancies and stuff like that. And the day came, certainly there was house music, and certainly after that there came Smileys in the magazine. Yeah, so we and I was a vinyl junkie anyway. So because in 1986 we started our own club in Berlin, Turbine Rosenheim, yeah, and we played any new music. We played only independent music, no major music at all, but independent music and soul music. From the beginning, like 1940 till today,
Wow.
I would say, yeah. So that
Very
was like,
broad mix.
yeah, we did everything by ourselves. It was a little drugstore before, and they moved out, and we said, why not use this for a little club? So, and we started our own club. We set up everything. We had to do a new floor, new walls, new decoration, our own sound system, everything. And that was really nice, and it was like with 100, with 250 people, it was packed. We, I was a DJ for Saturdays, and I played the whole mixer of everything. And certainly because we went to record shops every week to get new music, certainly there was also Acid House. And because of being well educated by magazines, Face and ID magazine, I said, why not start an Acid House party at the Turbine Rosenheim in September 24th or something like that, 1988. So I did it by myself.
Wow.
Together with
So
my friend Johnson, we shared the evening. So we were like he 1 hour, I 1 hour, and so we had a ping pong playing, and it was very successful.
Wow.
So since then, I'm still sticking to electronic dance music.
Right. I mean, but I think with Berlin, I mean, the timing was so right, wasn't it? Because of course the wall came down, and suddenly
that came later.
Yeah, but
First
okay,
we started
not
with
that.
Acid
Of course, you
House.
started the club, but I mean, with regards to like the Love Parade and the whole techno scene, the whole explosion of that was very much linked to East and West coming together, right?
For us on the dance floor, because there was also Dimitri Hegemann who started a UFO club. It was like in an ordinary cellar in a building where people live, in a cellar. It was an ordinary cellar, and where people store their stuff, and the ceiling really low like that. Yeah, really. So you had to duck all the time, cover your, protect your head. Yeah, it was really low level, low ceiling.
Yeah.
And we put just smoke machines, turntables, little bars, and stuff like that, and they just did it. And what they say, what's happening after the war, that at that day, because we also had radio stations in Berlin, like Monika Dieter and Rias, Berlin. Yeah, Monika was playing at SFB, and forgot the other name. Yeah, two radio DJs playing club music. And the people in the East knew what's going on, what kind of music, where to go. And the wall came down, and they came to West Berlin and just immediately went to UFO club. Yeah, immediately. So for us, it was family-like. Yeah, because we loved the music and we loved to be together, and it was just there. It's what like other DJs in Berlin, like Tanit or Wolle and others say, at the dance floor, we united as one family immediately.
Wow.
Yeah, immediately. So there was not a question, do you like or do you don't like? So we just knew there's the music, just went, and we went off.
I love it. I love it. So
yeah, because this was actually initiated by the Summer of Love '88 in UK. Yeah, and this is also like a little bit of related with something what's happening early '80s with Balearic beats in Ibiza. Yeah, because a lot of UK people love to be in Ibiza. There started something like with some chemicals they use, and certainly they discovered a new impression of how music
right.
Of how music feels.
You mean ecstasy?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
How music feels with ecstasy, and certainly it became new music. And there's a lot of influence of ecstasy into music, and that's also what we have had with acid, and also later on when also acid got influenced by noise and by an industrial, and influenced by music from Detroit, more the harder elements, yeah. So and also Belgium electronic, electronic body music and stuff like that. So it's like you could say some people nowadays say, "Oh, it was only black music," but it was not. It was from the beginning. It was, and many people say that it was from the beginning an international, multicultural
Totally.
uh,
Totally.
music.
Oh yeah, that was and it was bouncing back and forth.
Yeah,
It'd be from like
yeah.
Germany to Detroit, back to Germany, back to back to UK, Ibiza, Chicago. I mean, everyone was just bouncing stuff
in
around.
Germany, we have had in the beginning, in the early 70s, we have had a strong electronic music scene in Germany.
Yeah.
You call it krautrock, and stuff like that. And out of that came Tangerine Dream and Can and Kraftwerk and stuff like that. And they inspired American musicians, certainly as Afrika Bambaataa, and as also what people or musicians say in Detroit, that was influencing us. So we brought psychedelic funk, funkadelic, and Kraftwerk together, and that formed a new music.
But I think that's the beauty of it, that it was this real blending of different cultures, different nations. Like everyone was almost creating this together and bouncing it back and forth. And you're right, ecstasy did play a part in it as well, because also when you think about it, I mean, that was really created for like marriage counseling and to overcome trauma and all this kind of stuff. And so you have these people who are totally open, coming together, seeing the beauty in each other, seeing the beauty, or hearing the beauty in the music. And I mean, it was just a perfect mix of everything coming together.
And there's also a book about that. In Deutsch, it's called Im Rausch der Sinne. In Deutsch is something else.
Im Rausch der Sinne?
Yeah, this is the German title of it.
Oh, I was going to be your human Google, and I actually don't know how to translate that into English, but I will check that out. So what about you? Talking about a book, because I just spoke to Mike and Claire from Manumission.
Yeah.
And they are working on a book because so much happened, of course, at Manumission in Ibiza. What about you with the Love Parade? I mean, have you ever made a book? Are you thinking of creating a book?
About Love Parade? I mean, we have a lot of books talking about electronic music culture, a lot. And there's a photo book out that was on Taschen. And there's a new book out by another photographer who did a book about pictures from Love Parade.
But for you, so the stories, because there must be so many good stories of just stuff that happened in the early days. Right, just your experience and those who were there in the beginning.
Stuff like that, yes. But I'm very bad at telling stories. Some people can do it better. So I hardly can remember because there's so much going on since.
Yeah. There's some great books that have been written about that time. So we were at the 30th anniversary of the Love Parade, which was at the 90s Museum. I think it was in 2019. I was there. You were there. I wrote about it. And I remember at the time walking around and feeling a little bit like I had mixed feelings about it. On the one hand, it was kind of cool to see it. On the other hand, it felt really strange because it felt so sterile, where the Love Parade was the opposite of that. It was just loud and noisy and crazy and chaotic. And then you come into a museum and it's all organized and everything is in its place. How did you
the 90s exhibition, you would say?
Yes. We did
the extra exhibition inside of that. And what can you say? Do you have the people who run it, and then you come together, and then you have ideas or not? For me, it was the first time to create something like an exhibition. I learned a lot from that, and I would, from now on, I would say next time I would do it completely different.
Okay.
At the moment, there is a very good exhibition in Germany. It was in London before, electronic music or something like that.
Okay.
The walls are black, and it is really like all squeezed together, and it's very like you have feeling of being club guy. You have a feeling of being in a
Okay.
club
Yeah.
where you see the history of electronic music culture.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
how it all started and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Interesting.
It's in the
Wow.
moment at in Düsseldorf, and it was in London before, and it's very much related also with we have an extra room just for Kraftwerk to show music and picture the movie together. It's really good. It's really good.
Nice.
So they show a lot of flyers, they show a lot of vinyls, it has a lot of graphics and so on.
Yeah.
The
So
electronic music exhibition in
yeah.
Düsseldorf.
So with you, when was the year that you pulled back? So basically, initially, right? So the Love Parade started out as a protest. Then it got to the point
No,
where
it
they
wasn't a
said
protest.
no.
It
Well,
wasn't a
it was
protest.
it was labeled as a protest, right? So that basically you didn't have to pay for police and clean up and all this kind of stuff, right? Isn't that how it went?
Yeah, of course, but that wasn't the focus on saving money or something like that.
No,
It
no,
was
no, no,
like
no.
for
But
us, it
that's
was true because we wanted to dance on the streets for a better world.
The people are going crazy, and it's only the beginning. The best is yet to come. The Love Parade on the street of Berlin. Can you dig it?
and what I mean is it therefore didn't have to be a money-making thing. It wasn't about money.
It wasn't
Right?
about money.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
No.
Exactly. But then at some point, because that license was taken away, it had to start generating money. Am I right in saying that? And then that's when
2001,
everything
yeah.
right.
That's right.
And then you basically said, look, this is turning into an infomercial. I'm pulling back. Is again, am I saying that right or not?
You mean right now?
No, back then. So things were changing. Suddenly, sponsors had to come in. It started to, become like
We had sponsors before because
Okay.
if we have a million people to organize and also to set up everything and stuff like that, we have to collect money somehow. And we were not thinking about taking donations or something like that because we are an ordinary company, so we have to make some profit somehow, and also like to organize this, we had to arrange something. So we had sponsors before, but the situation in 2001 was like that we had people who didn't like us at all, so haters of the Love Parade, and it was basically an opera singer, a
Okay.
woman,
Yeah.
and she organized something, and she was very much organizing. So she said, I can start a demonstration as well. I want to block the Love Parade, so I use the day when the Love Parade will be second Saturday in July 2001. And then we came, and no one has written it down as a law, but the government said, who comes first is first. So, and not us.
That's what happened.
And that's
So
why
that-
that caused a huge problem to us, because we could not run the Love Parade on our fixed date. And everyone was, what's going on here? And we were like having a lot of press conference, and no one from the officials talked to us because politics don't hang out of the window so far because they can fall down. And no one talked to us. And then we had the wrong decision. We made a case out of that and lost the case. Yeah, in Berlin at Verwaltungsgericht. We lost our own case.
But the Love Parade did continue to happen.
Yeah, we used our own money we had in backstock. Yeah. It was really hard to run, and in 2003 we had no money, and the city and the mayor Wowereit gave us 500,000 if we could make it. But in 2004 we had no money, and we had no concept, and we had no business company manager. CEO was just leaving. At the time it was the
Wow.
brother of Westbam, Fabian Lenz. and she just left us alone. And I'm not a CEO. I cannot do that. I'm an artist. I'm a crazy guy who can have crazy ideas and inspire people and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah. Wow. So is
Yeah,
that when you?
then the money went off, so we were nearly bankrupt.
Wow. And so that's when you pull
2005.
back.
Yeah.
That's when you pull back, and that's when you.
What do you mean with pull back?
Well, then you weren't. So basically, didn't you actually say, "Okay, I'm nothing to do with this anymore"? You weren't part of
No, it
Love
got
Parade.
sold. The whole company got sold to a
It's
private
sold.
person.
It
Sold.
was sold.
So the
Okay.
majority of the shareholders of the Berlin Love Parade Berlin company
Yeah.
sold it.
Wow. Wow.
100% to a fitness chain.
Oh God. And then
in 2006, it was happening once in Berlin because we had all contracts with the cities.
yeah.
So they used this contract. In 2007, they tried to do it. And then they moved out of Berlin because the authorities were too slow.
And
And
then
they
of course,
announced, I'm looking for a city where I can do that. And I was there already saying, if you go out of Berlin and you have 1 million people in whatever city it will be, you have a problem because they have no experience. The authorities have no experience.
yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
no experience. This can cause problems. And in 2010, it happened in Duisburg.
I know.
21 people died.
Unbelievable. Like
Yeah.
I just get like shivers thinking about this. So how did you get through that period? Because to have started something that started out of love and joy, and then to see
And
that
music
name,
and dancing,
even though it
people
hadn't,
bringing
yeah,
together.
but even though it had nothing to do with you anymore, it still had that name. And so how did you do around that time? It must have been really hard to witness all
Well,
this.
I'm not sticking too much to so many things anymore. And at that time, I was like announcing that I'm not with it anymore because this has nothing to do with the culture we are starting and we are living. Yeah, because it was only now just a brand, but not the spirit.
Right.
Just because I said, okay, they can buy a brand, but not the spirit.
No.
So,
Yeah. So
what else? Yeah, so they took it and they moved it away from Berlin. Everyone said, "Oh, Love Parade has to be in Berlin" and stuff like that. And at a certain point, I understood that this new owner with his fitness change mainly just took this well-known brand, a worldwide well-known brand, just to make advertisement for his fitness chain.
wow.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And now we are going to bring it back this year
with the real spirit, exactly. So tell me about what's happening.
We have started a non-profit company. We have started in 2019 to build it up, to find partners and stuff like that, make a concept and stuff like that. In January we went public, had a press conference. 2 months we had a very good run, getting a lot of donations. We also had private donations to set up everything like containers in a mall, and having a model where we can try to show up how many people did a donation, because for every €5 we set up a little figure on a model, because we like to fill it with a lot of money to get the new Love Parade spirit as Rave the Planet parade in Berlin
Rave the Planet,
happening again. And it needs to be organized. And then certainly in March 2020, we had 2020, in March 2020, we had the pandemic coming. And with that, all the money just stopped. all the donations stopped.
Oh no!
Yeah. So that
And of
was a
course-
hard time.
Yeah.
We did something else. So we did one of the first regularly streaming every week. We set up a little camera system in one of our containers, and then later on we moved into a hotel to present 100 DJs via our streaming. We called it Instant Rave.
Instant rave.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was 2 years of waiting, of saying, okay, we can't do it this in 2020. We cannot do it in 21 because the situation was too unsafe for us,
Yeah.
and also we like to have a real rave going on. And also we have new laws in Berlin called what's it called? Demonstration Freedom Law.
Right.
Act, whatever, Demonstration Freedom Act, and it's actually not a Freedom Act
Okay.
because they say if you want to make a demonstration, it cannot be a cultural event or a sport event. You have to have talks and speeches, and people have to show them posters and stuff like that. So
Okay.
it's not like. What's written down on the basic law, everyone can come together in public space peacefully, but it's not because they
so
say
do you-
now we have new rules.
So do you think that was created because of the Love Parade that they had to just make it tighter? I don't know. So, but is it billed as like a protest?
We make a demonstration, but not a protest.
No, okay,
because-
okay, a demonstration.
have-
Sorry, I'm saying the wrong word. Right.
Yeah, it's not a protest.
No,
We have some themes. We have some Forderungen. Yeah.
So
What's
what
that
are
in
the
English?
what are the themes?
The things is we want to have electronic music culture accepted as a cultural input into the society,
Yes.
because we are also sent an application last year in November to the UNESCO
Exactly.
to get electronic music culture, especially in Berlin, accepted as culture, as intangible culture.
Yeah, it
Cultural,
should be.
intangible cultural heritage. Yeah, and this is we are still waiting for what's going on, because first it goes to Berlin, then it goes to the German government, and from there it goes to UNESCO.
Oh, okay. Right. And so when people come, so it's the 9th of July.
Yes,
So that's
we have
again, is that
speeches. Yeah, every
Yeah.
hour we have.
Okay.
People talking about certain things. One is like banning all dance banning dance ban in Germany.
Excuse me?
We have dance ban in Germany on certain Christian days.
That's
Believe
weird.
it or not. Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, and
God
also
doesn't
what-
like dancing. Come on, they should play God as a DJ, shouldn't they? When someone says you can't dance on those days. Come
Yeah,
on.
but still, it's even the Green Party is for banning or getting rid of dance ban in Germany, because in Bavaria we have certain days you're not allowed to dance around Easter, and stuff like that.
That's so weird. That's
Because
so
you cannot
weird.
honor God by dancing. No, it's not allowed.
That's so strange. They should go to one of those gospel churches. It's like, what are you talking about? You're meant to sing and dance to celebrate.
But we are in Germany,
Okay, so the 9th
and
of
there's also 9th of July, and we also another theme is like get a basic income for artists.
Yes.
So we connect with societies, and they have a speech. And then Dimitri Hegemann from Tresor is also talking about techno and freedom, and so on and so on. You
Wow.
can find all these things on www.ravetheplanet.com.
ravetheplanet.com, and it's free. Anyone can come. So everyone head down to Berlin for the 9th of July.
Yeah.
Oh man,
And we are in the middle of organizing. What we are actually like to do is what we have done in the 90s in Berlin. We like to show how that culture looks like. We love to continue with telling the story of Love Parade Spirit. It's like one day will come, we will generate world peace with it. And especially right now, because of the crazy and illegal war in Ukraine and everywhere on this planet, we like to bring people together dance-wise, because this is cultivating peace for humankind on this planet. And this is what we are going to do.
And it's one language. Everyone
It's
speaks
one
that
language.
same
Exactly.
language. Music, dancing. Oh, Dr. Motte, thank you so much for being on the show. I hope it's going
Thank
to
you
be a
very much.
fantastic street party the way it's meant to be. And absolutely looking forward to it. And thank you so much. I've had so many great moments at the Love Parade. So
Thank you very much.
for all of those. All right. All the best. Cheers.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, so Dr. Motte.
Yeah.
So I was wrong in thinking that he sold Love Parade because it became too commercial and he wasn't interested anymore. It basically, they were in huge financial trouble.
Interesting.
And that's what happened. And so they were forced to sell it because he basically said after Westbam's brother left, who was the CEO, Dr. Motte had to do it. And he said, I'm not a businessman. I
How
can't do
actually,
it.
apart from sponsorship, was that thing making money?
I don't think it really was making money at that point. They were just making sure that it could run. And then, of course, afterwards and after they sold it, that's when it became a money-making machine. And he said that the guy who bought it had all these fitness like studios, and basically he bought it to promote his own fitness empire.
Wow.
And Dr. Motte doesn't have many good things to say about him or basically where the Love Parade has gone. I was actually surprised in how little he had to say about the disaster. Really surprised. He basically just kept saying, that he wasn't involved and he didn't like where it gone, but he didn't really, it's like he didn't really want to go to, what that had meant, because it must have been hard. Can you imagine?
Sure. What about the positivity from it then? If he was not talking much about the negative, what positivity came out of it all for him?
Out of what?
Out of the whole Love Parade, out of his whole experience in the whole thing, moving forward, the deal he didn't like. Where's the positivity?
Well, I mean, the positivity is definitely in what they created before. I think he's very proud of what Love Parade did when it was the Berlin-based Love Parade.
But
and he's very excited about the new. I mean, it's in just a few days. It's going to be Rave the Planet. So that's where the story continues. And it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. Is there still a place for something like Love Parade in the world today, and can they recapture that kind of feeling? I don't know.
There's always places for big raves and people gathering, Notting Hill carnivals, Brazilian carnivals, Mexico Day of the Dead. Does it have that underground punkish spirit?
See, that's the thing, because that's what got lost. So can they recapture that again?
Maybe only in pockets, maybe not at that size.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
We will know. We will know in just a few days. And the other thing, the UNESCO cultural heritage status, that apparently can take years before they hear whether or not they're going to get that. To be continued, basically.